Hello again and welcome back. I'm Surbhi Singh, a senior marketing consultant at Encryption Consulting. Welcome to the second part of our post-quantum cryptography series. In our last episode, we laid the foundation by understanding the basics of PQC. Today, we're going to dive deeper and focus on the driving forces behind the PQC shift, the key reasons why a transition to post-quantum cryptography is not just a possibility but a necessity. Let's take a quick look at our agenda for today. This will be our roadmap as we explore the journey to a quantum safe future. We'll start by understanding the basics of PQC, giving you a good idea about its core pillars. From there, we'll dive into the key drivers behind the quantum shift and the foundational threat posed by quantum computers. Next, we'll explore the impact of algorithm deprecation, discussing what it means when today's encryption becomes obsolete. Then we'll address the barriers to PQC adoption, outlining the common challenges organizations face in making this transition. We'll also look at a practical PQC timeline, providing you a realistic roadmap for planning and adoption. Finally, we'll conclude by discussing how we can help, offering a structured approach to guide you through this critical journey. This agenda is designed to give you a clear, comprehensive understanding of the PQC environment and the steps you need to take to prepare. Let's start by understanding the essentials of PQC. We will be discussing the quantum threat and the new PQC algorithms in more detail as we move through the upcoming slides. Today, our digital world is built on a foundation of public key cryptography using algorithms like RSA and ECC. For decades, these have been the gold standard for securing everything from our emails to online transactions. But a seismic shift is coming, the rise of the quantum computers. These new machines can leverage quantum mechanics to perform calculations that are simply impossible for today's computers. While they don't yet exist in a cryptographically relevant form, one powerful enough to run algorithms like shows at a meaningful scale, their potential to break our current encryption is very real and widely recognized by experts. This isn't just a future problem, it's a present day strategic challenge. The risk comes from the harvest now, decrypt later strategy. Adversaries are already intercepting and storing vast amounts of encrypted data. They are patiently waiting for a future where quantum computers become powerful enough to decrypt it, rendering today's secrets vulnerable tomorrow. Think of it like a time capsule of your most sensitive information waiting to be opened. This means any data with a long term confidentiality requirement is at risk right now. The answer to this challenge is post quantum cryptography. PQC isn't just about quantum computers for security. Instead, it's about developing new mathematical algorithms that are believed to be secure against both classical computers and future quantum mechanics. They rely on different hard problems that even a quantum computer can't solve efficiently, such as those related to lattices or hash functions. These are our new cryptographic tools for the future. Moving to this new toolkit is a journey and not a single leap. The most secure and practical way forward is a hybrid migration strategy. This means we will run both our trusted classical algorithms and the new PQC algorithm simultaneously. This important safety net ensures continued and interoperability as we gradually roll out these new standards across all of our systems and applications. Past migrations shows us that this can take years, underscoring the urgency to begin planning today. You can't secure what you don't know you have. The essential first step in this journey is cryptographic discovery and inventory. Organizations must meticulously catalog every cryptographic asset from keys, certificates, and algorithms in their systems. This isn't just about PQC, it's a foundational step towards better security management. By creating a complete inventory, you can accurately assess your quantum risk and create a targeted, effective migration plan. Ultimately, the goal is to achieve crypto agility. This is the ability to easily and rapidly switch out cryptographic algorithms and systems. It's about building a flexible security infrastructure that can adapt to new standards, regulatory changes, and unforeseen threats with minimal to no disruption. It's a proactive stance that ensures that we are ready for whatever the future holds, whether it's the arrival of a cryptographically relevant quantum computer or another security challenge we haven't even imagined yet. By focusing on these six pillars, we can navigate the complexities of this transition and build a secure, resilient digital future. This diagram visually represents the critical race we are in. It's not just a matter of if quantum computers will break our encryption, but when, and whether we can prepare for it in time. The entire challenge of post quantum cryptography comes down to the relationship between three key timelines that are shown over here. First, let's look at the red bar at the bottom, which is the thread timeline. This represents the period during which a large scale fault tolerant quantum computer, the kind that can break our current encryption, is expected to become a reality. Experts agree that this is not a distant, far off future. It's happening within the next 10 to 15 years, and research suggests that it could happen even sooner. Now, look at the yellow bar. That's the migration time. This represents the time it will take for a typically large organization to fully migrate its entire cryptographic infrastructure to quantum safe algorithms. For a complex environment with a vast network of systems, applications, and third party dependencies, this is a multi year project, often taking 5 to 10 years or even more. And this is where the problem becomes crystal clear. Look at the green bar. Now that's the shelf life time. This represents how long your most sensitive data needs to remain confidential. Think about medical records, government secrets, or your company's intellectual property. This data needs to be secure for 15, 20, or even 50 years. This diagram shows a crucial, chilling intersection. An adversary can capture and store your encrypted data today. Even if they can't break the encryption now, they can simply hold on to it. Then, as soon as a powerful quantum computer becomes available at the end of the red bar, they can decrypt all of that coded data. This is the harvest now, decrypt later thread. The time it takes to migrate our systems is running on a similar clock as the quantum thread itself. But the data we are protecting has a much longer shelf life. The only way to win this race is to start the migration now, well before the threat becomes a reality, so that your long lived data is absolutely secure. NIST has taken a crucial step forward by standardizing cryptographic algorithms designed to be quantum resistant. These algorithms don't rely on the same mathematical problems as our current cryptography. Instead, they integrate diverse techniques like lattice based, hash based, and code based cryptography to provide future proof security. This is a monumental achievement that gives organizations a clear, trusted path to migration. Let's break down the algorithms that have been standardized, starting with the two primary ones. First, we have MLKEM derived from Crystal Kuiper, which has been standardized under FIPS 203. This is the new standard for key establishment or key encapsulation mechanism. Think of it as a secure digital handshake that allows two parties to create a shared secret key for a secure session. Kuiper is a lattice-based algorithm that is highly efficient in both encryption and decryption, making it a great choice for general-purpose applications like secure communications and cloud storage. It offers three different parameter sets: MLKEM 512, MLKEM 768, and MLKEM 1024, each designed to provide a different level of security, roughly equivalent to AES 128, AES 192, and AES 256, respectively. Next, for digital signatures, we have MLDSA derived from crystal dilithium, standardized under FIPS 204. This is designed to be the general purpose replacement for our current digital signatures like RSA and ECDSA. Dilithium is also a lattice based algorithm offering a great balance of speed, security, and signature size, which makes it ideal for applications like software updates, code signing, and general authentication. It provides three parameter sets to match different security requirements. In addition to this, NIST has also standardized SLHDSA derived from Sphinx Plus under FIPS 205. This is a digital signature algorithm based on hash functions rather than lattices. NIST views this as a conservative or backup choice because its security relies on the well understood and time tested properties of hash functions. It has slightly larger signatures and can be more resource intensive, but it's extremely secure and provides a different mathematical foundation than the lattice based lithium, adding a layer of diversity to the standard portfolio. And for a different approach to digital signatures, we have Falcon, which is yet to be standardized. Falcon is a lattice based algorithm that stands out for its very small signature size. While it is more mathematically complex to implement, its compact signatures makes it a promising option for applications where space is at a premium, such as in root and intermediate certificates. Finally, while the first four have been finalized, HQC is also currently undergoing standardization as a future key establishment mechanism. HQC is a code based cryptographic method which provides a completely different mathematical basis for security compared to the lattice based Kyber. NIST has selected it as a backup for MLKEM, ensuring that if any unforeseen weaknesses are discovered in the lattice based standards, there is a ready to use alternative available. These five algorithms form the foundation for a quantum resilient cryptographic future. They provide a robust and diverse set of tools for organizations to transition to quantum resistant security measures, ensuring their data remains safe for decades to come. So, why is this shift happening and why is it so urgent? It's not just the potential of a quantum computer. There are a number of key drivers from technology and business to our own security posture that are forcing this change. In this next section, we'll dive into the core reasons why the quantum shift is not just a theoretical risk, but a real world business imperative. We'll explore the vulnerabilities, the challenges, and the opportunities that are forcing a fundamental rethink of cybersecurity. Now, let's talk about what's really pushing this massive change towards post quantum cryptography. This is a monumental shift, and it's being driven by three powerful forces working together: government, the financial sector, and the private industry. Let's start with government and regulatory mandates. Think of NIST, our National Institute of Standards and Technology. Their work is the bedrock of all of this. They ran a global competition to find the best quantum resistant algorithms, and now they're the ones giving us the new standardized rules for how to do cryptography. In the US, the government is leading the way with specific directives and mandates telling federal agencies that they must start this transition now. This sets a clear precedent for everyone else. And this isn't just a US initiative. We are seeing international guidance from organizations across Europe, Canada, and elsewhere. They're all working together to make sure that when this transition happens, it's a coordinated global effort. This is all culminating in these national roadmaps that we've been discussing, which turns this big high level guidance into concrete actionable steps. Next, let's look at the immense pressure coming from the financial sector. Financial data has an incredibly long shelf life. Think about a mortgage, a retirement account, or a major transaction. This data needs to be secure for decades. The threat of a quantum computer means that data encrypted today could be at risk tomorrow, which is a massive liability. This ties directly into what we call the harvest now, decrypt later threat. Criminals could be stealing this encrypted financial data right now, holding onto it, and waiting for the day they can use a quantum computer to unlock it. This is a risk that financial industry simply cannot accept. They're also facing regulatory scrutiny. Financial regulators are starting to ask tough questions about PQC readiness because it's a fundamental part of a bank's long term security and resilience. And of course, securing future digital payments and financial systems with quantum safe payments is a key focus. Finally, the private sector and industry standards are playing a crucial role. It's not just governments, private standards organizations and industry groups are actively creating their own rules to make sure PQC works seamlessly. We're also seeing great leadership from technology vendors. Companies like Google, Microsoft, and others are already building PQC capabilities into their products. Their innovation is what will make this transition possible for the rest of us. There's also a growing demand for something called a cryptographic bill of materials or CBOM. Just like a list of ingredients, a CBOM tells you exactly what cryptographic components are in a product, which is a huge help for managing this transition. And finally, the private sector understands the urgent need for cryptogility. This isn't just about a one time change. We need to build systems that can be easily updated with new cryptographic algorithms, allowing us to adapt to future threats without completely overhauling our infrastructure. In short, this is a multifaceted push driven by a clear global consensus on the urgency of the quantum threat. The good news is we have a clear path forward thanks to these collective efforts. So we've discussed the new quantum resistant algorithms, but what happens to the old ones that we rely on today? The standard bodies are already preparing to deprecate them. This isn't just a technical change. It has significant business, operational, and security impacts that we need to address now. In this next section, we'll explore the real world consequences of algorithm deprecation. Now, let's dive into a concept that is central to the PQC transition, but one that has a long history in the field of cybersecurity, which is the algorithm deprecation. This isn't a new idea, but the rise of quantum computing makes it more urgent than ever. Deprecation is a strategic and formal process organizations use to phase out old, insecure cryptographic algorithms and transition to modern, more secure ones. Let's break down the key elements of this process. First, let's define algorithm deprecation itself. It's the formal process of retiring cryptographic algorithms that are no longer considered secure. This decision is driven by a number of factors, including advances in cryptanalysis, increasing computational power, and the emergence of new and more sophisticated threat models. The primary key driver for the current wave of deprecation is the rise of quantum computing. Algorithms like RSA and ECC, which are widely used today to protect our data and verify digital identities, are no longer considered future safe. To put this in perspective, let's look at some historical examples. Algorithm deprecation has a long history. We have already seen the formal retirement of algorithms like MD5 and SHA-1 because they were found to be vulnerable to collision attacks which could be exploited by attackers. Similarly, old ciphers like 3DES and RC4 have been phased out due to their inherent weaknesses. These past transitions show us that deprecation is a necessary and recurring part of the cybersecurity lifecycle. Finally, this leads us to the strategic necessity of deprecation. Beyond simply cleaning up old technology, retiring algorithm is a strategic requirement for organizations. It is a proactive measure that ensures your cryptographic infrastructure remains resilient and compliant. Most importantly, it forces you to build in crypto agility, which prepares your systems for future changes and ensures they are able to withstand the emerging threats. This isn't just about retiring what's old, it's about building a strong, flexible foundation for what's next. As we move towards a quantum future, we are not facing a single uniform threat. Instead, we are racing against two distinct timelines, each with its own set of risks. This is the critical race of deprecation versus survival. On one side, we have the deprecation race. This is the urgent, immediate race to protect our public key cryptography. Public key algorithms like RSA and ECC are the foundation of our internet security. However, they rely on the mathematical difficulty of factoring large numbers or solving elliptical curve problems. Quantum computers using a specific algorithm known as Shor's algorithm can solve these problems with exponential speed up. This means that a sufficiently large quantum computer can completely break RSA encryption, rendering it useless. The threat is so severe that NIST is already preparing to deprecate these algorithms. This is a deprecation race because our current public key cryptography is on a countdown to obsolescence. The clock is ticking on data that needs to remain confidential for a long time as it's vulnerable to harvest now decrypt later attack. On the other side, we have the survival race. This is about the resilience of asymmetric key cryptography such as AES and our hashing algorithms. These are not vulnerable in the same way. A quantum computer using robust algorithm can only provide a quadratic speedup for brute force attacks against these systems. And while this is a significant speedup, it's not an instant break. It essentially halves the security of the key. To counteract this, a 256-bit key provides an effective security level of 128 bits against a quantum attack, keeping it secure for the foreseeable future. For these algorithms, it's not a race to replace them entirely, but a race to ensure their key lengths are sufficient to survive the quantum threat. In summary, for public key cryptography, it's a deprecation race and we need to replace it. For symmetric key and hashing algorithm, it's a survival race and we need to ensure their key lengths are adequate to remain secure. We've talked about the threat and the solution, but the path to a quantum safe world is not without its obstacles. There are significant technical, organizational, and strategic hurdles that we must overcome. These barriers are why the quantum shift is more complex than simply swapping out an algorithm. In this next section, we'll dive into the barriers to PQC adoption and discuss how we can begin to address them. We've established the why and the how, but we must be realistic about the challenges that lie ahead. The journey to a quantum safe world is not without its obstacles. Think of these as not just roadblocks but as the hard truth we need to confront and prepare for. Organizations that delay their migration are at a competitive disadvantage, and a rushed effort can lead to errors, unnecessary cost, and operational downtime. Let's break down the four key hurdles organizations will face. First, we have the challenge of comprehensive upgrades and complexity. Unlike past cryptographic migrations, for example, moving from the old DES standards to AES, this shift is far more complex. The DES to AES migration was like replacing a single type of lock across an entire building. This time, it's like re architecting the entire security system for the building from the ground up. PQC requires simultaneous upgrades of multiple algorithm types, including both symmetric and asymmetric cryptography. This is complicated further by the need for new PQC specific certificates, which aren't yet widely available from publicly trusted authorities. Every single part of your cryptographic system, from how keys are generated and exchanged to how digital signatures are applied, needs to be re-evaluated and updated. It's a fundamental change that creates a ripple effect throughout your entire infrastructure. Next, we face performance and resource constraints. Imagine a financial transaction system where every millisecond of latency costs millions. PQC algorithms are more computationally intensive, meaning they require more processing power and memory to run. This can create performance bottlenecks, especially in real time applications and in environments with limited resources. Think of small IoT devices like a smart thermostat or a sensor where a large key could consume more power and drain the battery much faster. On top of that, the large key sizes and signatures of PQC algorithms also increase bandwidth consumption. If you have a high volume of encrypted traffic, this can lead to significant latency and a need for greater network capacity. These aren't just technical details, they have real world business impact that needs to be carefully considered. Third, we have legacy systems and backward compatibility. This is one of the most significant barriers for large organizations. Our existing infrastructure, protocols like TLS and SSH and PKI, were designed in an era where quantum computers were science fiction. They were not built to handle PQC. Getting new PQC enabled systems to talk seamlessly with legacy classical systems is incredibly difficult. It's like a digital family reunion where the new modern members have to communicate with the older ones who can only speak a different language. This is why a hybrid cryptography approach is often required, allowing both classical and PQC algorithms to work together. Ensuring this interoperability requires extensive updates and coordination, not just within a single organization, but across your entire supply chain. Finally, there is the challenge of identifying quantum vulnerable cryptography. This is a problem of known unknowns. We know our current crypto is vulnerable, but PQC algorithms are so new that they may introduce previously unexplored vulnerabilities, such as side channel attacks and implementation errors. We don't have decades of crypto analysis on these new algorithms yet. This is an area of active research and we must remain vigilant. On top of that, many industry regulations currently reference classical cryptography, requiring significant updates to ensure PQC adoption remains compliant. We're not just adopting a new technology, we're also waiting for the regulatory and standard bodies to catch up, which can slow down the migration process and create uncertainty. We've talked about the threat and the new algorithms, but it's all meaningless without a sense of urgency. So let's turn our attention to the PQC timeline. This isn't a single fixed state, but rather a convergence of several critical clocks. We will explore the key deadlines and why proactive preparation is essential to protect your long lived data from a threat that is closer than you think. Let's walk through a realistic step by step roadmap for how we'll get from today to a quantum safe future. Think of this as a game plan showing what different parts of the tech world are doing to make this a reality. First, at the very top, we have standards and certification groups. These are the rule makers like NIST and OASIS. Right now, we're finalizing the PQC algorithm. Think of them as the new crypto building blocks. We'll see those formalized by the end of this year, and over the next few years, these bodies will work on standardizing protocols like TLS and updating specifications to ensure the entire cryptographic ecosystem can securely and interoperably accommodate PQC. Next, the open source and software vendors get in on the top action. This is the layer that powers most of the internet. Open source libraries like OpenSSL and Bouncy Castle are already starting to integrate these new algorithms. Soon after, web servers like Apache will follow, making sure our online communications are ready for PQC. Then we have the hardware vendors. These are the silent but critical players. They're the ones building the secure hardware that protects our most sensitive keys. By 2026, we'll see the release of FIPS certified hardware security modules or HSMs that can securely handle these new PQC keys. This provides a fundamental layer of trust, especially for high security environments. And finally, we get to the enterprise adoption roadmap. This is where your organization comes in. The journey starts right now with what we call a cryptographic bill of material. That includes the complete inventory of every piece of crypto you use. In 2026, we'll run small pilots on our internal systems to test everything out, and by 2027, we'll begin a full scale production rollout. And by the end of the decade, around 2030, we expect to be fully using these quantum safe algorithms for everything, from the security certificates on our websites to our VPNs. To break it down even further, the whole plan is organized into four simple phases. We start in 2025 by measuring and planning, which means inventorying our cryptographic environment. In 2026, we'll move into private PQC pilots, testing internal PQC upgrades. From 2027 through 2028, we'll focus on full integration and readiness, updating crypto libraries and governance. Then, from 2029 onward, we'll move into public production, adopting PQC at a large scale with public trust series and broad infrastructure updates. It's a methodical, step by step process designed to build a resilience without disrupting our business. This next section is all about how we can help you in your PQC journey. We'll explore our service and our expertise that are available to guide you through the next phases of this critical migration. Let's talk about how we can help you make a seamless and strategic transition to post quantum cryptography. Our approach is designed to minimize disruption, strengthen compliance, and keep your cryptographic environment resilient against emerging threats, both today and in the quantum future. We break the journey into three key pillars. Risk assessment and gap analysis is where it all begins. We start by applying our customized PQC readiness framework to get a clear picture of your current cryptographic environment. We'll perform a crypto discovery to map out exactly where and how cryptography is used in your protocols, systems, and assets. By doing this, we can pinpoint vulnerabilities, especially those exposed to quantum risk. We then deliver a detailed gap analysis report that is aligned with NIST standards that gives you a clear, actionable recommendations. Once we understand your risk, we help you build a tailored PQC migration strategy that fits your unique business goals. This involves defining a crypto agile operating model and outlining a detailed milestone driven roadmap for PQC adoption. We incorporate leading industry practices to ensure your environment isn't just quantum resistant, but also adaptable and resilient for the long term. Our experts provide hands on consultation throughout the entire planning phase. Finally, we help bring your plan to life. We support hybrid implementations to ensure a smooth coexistence between your classical and post quantum systems. We also help you build crypto agile environments, retire insecure algorithms, and ensure full compliance with NIST PQC standards. And our work doesn't stop once the plan is deployed. We stay involved, continuously monitoring and maintaining your cryptographic ecosystem to keep it secure. So, whether you're starting out in your PQC journey or already planning the next steps, EC brings a structured, proven approach to help you reduce risk, maintain compliance, and build a future ready cryptographic infrastructure. As we wrap up, it's important to recognize that the shift to post quantum cryptography is not just about staying ahead of threats, but by building a resilient and secure future. At Encryption Consulting, we work closely with organizations to navigate this transition smoothly, ensuring that their cryptographic infrastructure is ready for the quantum era. The key to a successful migration lies in proactive planning and a well built crypto inventory, and we're here to help you every step of the way. Thank you all for staying with us and exploring the path to PQC readiness. We hope this session has provided you with valuable insights and a clear understanding of how these advancements can protect your critical assets. If you'd like to learn more about what we've discussed in today's session, feel free to visit our website or drop us an email at info@encryptionconsulting.com. We look forward to supporting you in your quantum safe journey.